Greetings! Today, we're heading to Oklahoma to watch Western Pioneer build a classic Western log cabin from the ground up. Before modern materials like steel and concrete shaped American skylines, log cabins were the backbone of frontier life. Brought over by Scandinavian settlers, these rugged dwellings appeared in North America as early as the 17th century. The first step in the build is choosing a location that offers ideal sunlight, drainage, and proximity to raw materials like timber. Each log is shaped and stacked by hand, a meticulous process aimed at reducing gaps and increasing the structure's integrity. Rather than using chainsaws, he sticks to traditional tools like a handsaw and axe, pacing himself to maintain energy. Cedar, a favorite among Western pioneers, was chosen for its natural resistance to rot and insect damage. That said, its flammability made it risky indoors, so pioneers often limited its use near stoves or fireplaces. The log stacking style mirrors cribbed timber construction, also found in historical mine reinforcement techniques. This form of building reflects vernacular architecture, where strength and function are derived from methodical layering. The logs rely on their own mass for stability, with no need for mortar or adhesives. Interlocking notches allow each log to rest securely atop the next, preventing lateral movement. As the framework rises, he chooses to reinforce the rafters with nails for added security. Although not part of the original Pioneer blueprint, these fasteners ensure strength and safety in modern conditions. By the look of their straight grain and tone, the milled boards he's using are likely pine or cedar. Since the rafters are irregular, each board must be positioned carefully to balance weight and resist uplift from wind. To improve ventilation and even out the surface, he adds spacer blocks beneath the boards before nailing. Framing the door marks a transition. This isn't just shelter anymore. It's turning into a true home. Doors weren't only practical. They symbolized stability, privacy, and a claim to the land. His approach reflects early settler values, using minimal resources and shaping the environment into part of the build. By choosing to build down into the ground instead of wide across, he protects the structure from powerful prairie gusts. Installing windows introduces structural complexity by interrupting the flow of the log wall. Proper framing around these openings is vital to absorb pressure and allow for seasonal wood expansion and contraction. Squared beams used around the windows contrast visually with the round logs, blending function and form. Perfect fits are critical. Any gaps can invite wind, water, and pests into the interior. There's no use of machines, only raw effort, endurance, and human precision. The red clay earth in this area is dense and stubborn, making every inch of digging a tough job. One advantage is that the soil, once compacted into vertical walls, offers strong support and effective insulation. Horizontal logs are positioned to stabilize the dugout edges, preventing erosion and resisting outward pressure from the earth. Each wall section is sculpted by hand to follow the Earth's existing form with accuracy and care. What stands out in this process is the way muscle memory and visual judgment guide every alignment and cut. Historically, settlers built dugouts across the Great Plains in the 19th century due to timber shortages. These homes provided natural insulation and protection by utilizing the earth itself as building material. Following this old-world approach, the builder continues installing smooth cedar planks in clean, level rows. The technique not only reinforces the inner walls, but also resists soil collapse and moisture damage. For early homesteaders, sealing out the cold wasn't about comfort. It was a matter of staying alive. When packed behind the walls, this soil creates counterpressure that helps lock the structure firmly in place. The forceful, deliberate hammering shows these logs are being aligned carefully for precise integration into the cabin structure. Each timber must interlock securely with the one beneath it, forming a solid, weather-resistant barrier. Leaving the bark intact adds a rugged aesthetic and boosts the wall's insulation properties. Where the surface is uneven, trimming or slight chinking may be done to ensure tight joints between the logs. Before raising more walls, the interior clay must be moved to level the ground for the next phase. This native clay has a sticky consistency, allowing it to hold shape well, ideal for construction that involves soil retention. Continuing the tradition, he begins constructing a wall using mud bricks made from local clay. He digs a pit to extract clay from deeper layers, which is rich in iron and has a signature red color. As rainwater collects in the pit, it softens the surrounding earth for easier processing. This simple method reduces labor and has been used for generations in remote areas without modern tools. Before any building begins, it's essential to observe how water drains and collects across the land. Now, he begins cutting sod bricks, also called turf blocks, using a pioneer-era hand tool designed for the job. The tool slices through grass and topsoil to create uniform rectangular blocks of earth. On the treeless plains of the 1800s, settlers often relied on grassy topsoil for building due to the lack of wood and stone. This structure replicates a traditional sod home from that era, commonly called a soddy. The clay in the walls offers excellent thermal mass, while the sod blocks provide natural insulation and visual blending with the landscape. It's a system built entirely from on-site materials, perfect for historical recreations or off-grid living. In frontier life, windows were practical features offering daylight, visibility, and peace of mind. The windows are built flush with the walls and secured using basic joinery without modern fasteners. Every sod brick is packed in tightly, sealing off air gaps and reinforcing the structure's strength. He presses each one into place with the grass side down, so the roots interlock beneath the surface. Once dried and compacted, the sod forms a thick, breathable shell that blends the home into the surrounding prairie. To finish, we now watch as a fully hand-built rope-strung bed takes shape from raw materials. He starts by stripping bark from logs with a draw knife, revealing clean wood for the bed frame. Even though the logs are irregular, they're fitted together using carved joints or bindings. The rugged appearance complements the log cabin's character and aligns with old-world building methods. Measurements are done by eye, directly on the cabin floor, with no electrical tools involved. Western Pioneer sticks to methods passed down through generations of skilled craftspeople. The structure is reinforced with diagonal braces, which lock the frame and prevent shifting. These supports keep the bed frame sturdy, even under daily use. The most distinctive element is the woven rope base that serves as the mattress support. By threading rope in a tight grid across the frame, he creates a soft yet supportive foundation. This method predates spring mattresses and wooden slats, dating back hundreds of years. The phrase "sleep tight" came from this technique, referring to the need to periodically retighten sagging ropes. The rope appears to be made from hemp or jute, strong, natural fibers in keeping with the era. Constructed without modern amenities, this bed revives hands-on craftsmanship and honors the adaptability of the human spirit. The fire pit he's crafting follows pioneer-era principles, designed to retain and circulate heat efficiently. It demands strenuous labor, requiring the transport of stones from nearby canyon beds or natural erosion sites. These pits perform well for prolonged cooking, particularly in wide-open, breezy prairie settings. As construction advances, attention shifts to a more advanced feature, installing a cast-iron wood-burning stove in the cabin. This element delivers consistent warmth, offering better insulation in colder months than an exposed fire pit. Once the straight pipe is secured, curving the elbow joint becomes crucial for guiding smoke through the wall. Every phase of this work visually reflects a life of independence and a revival of historical living techniques. Back in the late 19th century, settlers moved westward, pursuing free homesteads granted under U.S. Land Acts. With grit and simple tools like saws and axes, they carved out homes using timber sourced from nearby wilderness. Each log was laboriously shaped, carefully notched, and precisely stacked to form a sturdy skeleton of a house. These structures withstood harsh prairie gusts, blazing heat, and thick snowfalls of frontier winters. Today's project helps preserve the lost art of frontier survival and construction techniques. It pays respect to those who forged homesteads from untouched land and raw materials with their bare hands. Western Pioneer creates a traditional Dutch door, also known as a half door or stable door, with deep historical significance. A Dutch door is horizontally divided, allowing both halves to open separately. This handcrafted version matches the log cabin's rustic aesthetic and time-honored look. It's built using raw wooden boards, probably pine or cedar, and reinforced with diagonal braces for durability. Opening only the top half allows air and daylight inside, while keeping kids or animals safely contained. Originating in 1600s Netherlands, these doors later became a staple in early American colonies. On the frontier, they served for talking or handing items through without needing to open the full doorway. They enhance airflow, lighting, and convenience for rustic dwellings rooted in practicality. The next step is waterproofing the roof's central seam, a critical line of defense against leakage. Its steeply sloped construction deflects moisture away from where the roof panels connect, strengthening durability. If left uncovered, this ridge would invite rain, snow, and windborne debris to penetrate the most exposed section. Slowly, this can lead to decay, leakage, and eventual weakening of the structure. Inside, extra wooden battens are affixed at right angles to the cedar planks already covering the ceiling. These battens mechanically secure the planks, dispersing the weight of the sod roof more evenly. They also provide long-term resistance against sagging and displacement as the roof takes on moisture and mass. This cross-bracing method, once standard for early pioneers, is now being thoughtfully revived by Western Pioneer. With the wood and shingle foundation in place, the next phase introduces the green, or sod, roofing layer. This technique is among the most time-tested and sustainable forms of roofing. To start, the builder rolls out a waterproof membrane, most likely a thick polyethylene barrier, to protect the timber base. Spreading this watertight layer over the full roof surface guards against infiltration from rain or melting snow. Tightly sealing the edges stops earth and debris from slipping underneath and causing wear. Next comes the dirt, flung by hand onto the roof, an act that reflects skill in weatherproofing, weight distribution, and concealment. The chosen soil is carefully selected, often a clay-heavy loam filled with natural roots and native grasses. Its properties help it hold together and insulate while blending the structure seamlessly with its environment. Grasses and roots are oriented upward to allow them to remain alive and continue growing. Eventually, the roof will resemble a field, merging the structure visually with its natural setting. By pairing a synthetic moisture barrier with organic earth, the builder balances ecological design with practical insulation. As the final layer of soil is added, the build reaches its conclusion, a tribute to tradition, patience, and resourceful craftsmanship. For added strength, interior vertical posts are installed to help support the ridge beam and roofing layers. This time-honored solution in sod and log cabins helps reduce stress on the main roof structure and transfers the load to the ground. Essentially, these posts bear vertical weight and preserve the roofline's stability and alignment. The final touch is assembling the chimney, a practical ventilation system for the indoor wood stove. It's customized for use with sod roof buildings and designed with straightforward, efficient engineering. The chimney carries smoke safely upward, using its vertical height to ensure strong draft. This is critical in colder climates for effective burning and keeping smoke from backing into the living space. Made with common materials, the entire system is easy to construct and maintain without needing special tools. Inside, a black flue links directly to a compact cast iron stove, serving as both a heat source and a cooking appliance. Even snowfall won't deter Western Pioneer from putting it to the test. One of the most eye-catching features of the structure is its chimney flue setup. Designed with careful precision, it promotes safe ventilation and consistent heat retention, even in harsh winter climates. Thanks to this setup, the cabin becomes a functional retreat in freezing weather, offering warmth and meal preparation capabilities. Within the walls, every element reflects a life shaped by intention, discipline, and honest labor. The build as a whole tells a deep story of resilience, craftsmanship, and the primal urge to create and endure. His method embraces slowness, allowing nature, intuition, and weather conditions to shape each decision. Each step, from foundation to finish, honors traditional materials and age-old construction practices. After some well-deserved rest, it's time to begin the age-old process of applying daub to the walls. Daub, a mixture of straw and clay, serves as both an insulator and structural filler in heritage building. This particular soil works well for daubing because of its adhesive quality when blended with fibers. Cutting straw into fine segments improves how well it binds into the clay mix. Once chopped, the straw is stirred into the clay to form a sticky, fibrous plaster. By hand, he gauges the mix's consistency, ensuring it's balanced. Too dry and it flakes, too wet and it sags. Daub seals the spaces between logs, helping keep wind out and warmth in. This ancient craft goes back many generations, rooted in early pioneer and colonial building styles. It's an environmentally friendly, low-tech method using only natural, local resources. Here, the warm reddish clay also offers a striking visual complement to the pale-toned logs. Now it's time to furnish the cabin and give it a lived-in, welcoming spirit. Each custom-made item will serve a purpose while contributing charm and warmth. The structure has transformed from a project to a fully realized home, inviting, finished, and richly earned. Be sure to explore Western Pioneer's channel, where he revives frontier life through skilled, patient building. These final touches represent both a symbolic and physical conclusion to the entire construction journey. With every wall reinforced, each pane secured, and heat rising from the wood stove, the addition of shutters seals it all in. Remember to hit subscribe to see more complete project builds like this one. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time.